Hi, I'm Alex. There is a man in China who was once worth 220 billion yuan, and now his paper wealth is roughly 10 billion. That same man, at 72, still gets on planes to fly to county towns in Guizhou and Xinjiang, inspecting karst caves, canyon bridges, and ancient city streets as if he were a regional tourism official. At the same moment, his company burns through more than 20 million yuan a day just to service its debt. The first image looks like denial, and the second looks like desperation. The truth, as usual, is somewhere harder to sit with, so you might assume the 2017 deal was just about raising cash. Wrong. That was the template for everything that followed. Wang sold 13 tourism projects and 77 hotels to Sunak and Ridef for a combined 63.7 billion yuan. The cash mattered, but the real purpose was signaling. Wanda needed to show regulators and creditors that it would shrink its debt mountain rather than fight to keep every trophy asset. By selling the heavy, slow-yielding properties and keeping the management contracts, Wang created a pattern that would define the next decade. Exchange ownership for survival. Retain control only when control costs nothing extra. It was a public promise that the company could still operate what it no longer owned. That brings me on to the cage built from two failed IPO bets. In 2016, Wanda Commercial delisted from Hong Kong at a cost of 34.455 billion Hong Kong dollars, with a side promise that if it did not list on a shares by 2018, it would repay 41 billion yuan. That deadline came and went. In 2018, a group of investors including Tencent, JD.com, Commersuning, and Sunak injected 34 billion yuan for about 14% of the company, and the clock was reset to 2023. Then, in 2021, a new vehicle, Zhuhai Wanda Commercial, raised 38 billion yuan from 22 investors, including PAG, with a clause that if the company failed to list by the end of 2023, Wang would have to buy back their shares at an 8% annual internal rate of return. That potential buyback was estimated at 30 billion yuan for. Listing applications to the Hong Kong exchange lapsed, one after another. Each failed attempt turned a liquidity problem into a hard-dated, non-negotiable obligation. The bet was supposed to solve the debt. Instead, it multiplied it. The comparison most people reach for is Evergrande, and the contrast explains why one name survived and the other did not. Evergrande collapsed under liabilities of 2.44 trillion yuan, and its fraud was later exposed. Revenue inflated by 560 billion yuan, profit inflated by 90 billion yuan. Xu Jianlin, its founder, was placed under mandatory measures in 2023. Wanda's situation was not better because its leverage was lower. It was not. The difference is that Wang Jianlin kept showing up. A $4 billion offshore bond extension passed with over 96% creditor approval. He personally guaranteed an arbitration award in a supermarket share sale dispute. More than 4.9 billion yuan of his personal equity is frozen by courts. Staying is expensive, but it is the only reason creditors still take his calls. The market is not rewarding Wang for being honest. It is pricing the probability that he will keep converting what remains of his reputation into recoverable cash. That is a narrower asset than a skyscraper, but it is not nothing. In late 2025, Wang Jianlin was briefly placed on a consumption restriction list over a 186 million yuan dispute, and the ban was lifted 36 hours later, after what was described as an information mismatch in the enforcement system. The episode was a reminder that the man's personal credit is now subject to daily re-rating. Yet he keeps flying. He invests time in Danzhai Wondertown, a project he originally funded with 1.4 billion yuan in a poor county in Guizhou. That county's tourism income has since broken 5 billion yuan in a year, and the project claims to have helped lift more than 50,000 people out of poverty. Whether those figures are fully audited or not, the image they project is not a man on a yacht. It is a man on a dusty road, still trying to make a local economy work, because that is the only theatre left where his name has positive yield. The consumption restriction came and went, but the deeper restriction remains. He cannot stop performing solvency, because solvency is now his only product. The bullish story says Wanda has pivoted to a light asset model, and that the management platform will generate stable cash far into the future. But the arithmetic does not close. The operating profit of the residual business is only about 2 billion yuan a year, while the annual interest bill is above 13 billion yuan. That means asset sales, not operations, have been the real cash engine for years. The minority stake in Zhuhai Wanda Commercial may hold value, but without a liquidity event, a dividend recapitalization, a partial sale, or an improbable IPO, it cannot service the group's legacy obligations. And with PAG now controlling the board, the future upside of that platform will partly accrue to the new owners. The light asset pivot is necessary, but it is not yet sufficient to make the numbers work. The Wanda story offers 3 lessons, and none of them are comfortable. First, an IPO bet is not a financing strategy. It is a binary deadline, and when you miss it, you owe the people you invited to your side. Second, credit is not a fixed cost. It is priced daily and it rises exactly when you need it most. Third, asset sales buy time, but they do not buy transformation. The same leverage era that produced Evergrande's fraud also produced Wang Jianlin's fire sale. The informed view is not that Wang Jianlin will fully repay every yuan, it is that he is still negotiating, still selling, still flying to small counties, and that his name remains an asset precisely because it has not been foreclosed, not been defaulted, not been defaulted, not been hidden behind shell companies. The panicked crowd sees only a failed billionaire. The people who actually sit across the table from him see a counterparty who still answers the phone, and in the late stage of a debt crisis that is worth more than any building.